Get this 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.
With myself, Tony Martin, and Ed Cat. No.
Oh
No. It's Cal Wilson. That's who it is. I just couldn't recognise her beneath that spectacular creation. Is that a cape?
It's a cape.
What have you done?
I've made a cape out of green felt.
Oh, it's spectacular, all right. It set off some sound effects. Oh, the Cape of Good Hope, it says on the back.
And it has a picture of a capybara on it.
Oh, okay. Well, you're getting a lot in before the close of Capril.
Well, it's the last day of Capril, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to be...
And you hadn't appointed an official spokesrodent for Capril, and clearly that should be the capybara, which is the largest semi-aquatic rodent
from
South America.
So it's a real
animal.
animal.
It's a real animal.
It's not just a pun.
There's a picture of it. Look at the picture.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a giant guinea pig crossed with a hippo.
So much to take in there.
It's it's described in the dictionary as a pig-sized amphibious hystricomorph, which sounds like an insult to me.
It's Hystricomorph week. All next week on Triple M. We're not here next week. That's what they'll be subbing in. Hystricomorphs. Why do we feel so underdressed today, Richard? We should have really caped up again.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, actually.
We wore capes for a whole day, and you've never seen so much stuff swept off people's desks.
There's a lot of OH&S issues.
It's a ludicrously
Was
impractical.
it quite good for dusting, though?
Oh, there's not a speck in this studio. You've got a cat, haven't you, Cal?
Yes, I've got a cat. I've got a cat in a cape, actually.
Well, see, that's...
There's a picture of my cat wearing a cape.
Oh, that's beautiful. A sort of Maori design.
It's actually
there.
wearing a napkin, but it looks like a cape because the cat's quite small. The sad thing is, that was taken 4 years ago. There was no Capril. I just dressed it in a serviette.
Ahead of your time. But, okay, if you're into cats, we'll see you halfway there. Filling in.
And there's another.
There's more.
That's my other cat wearing a jersey.
She's setting up a slide projector screen. A jersey.
Yeah,
That'd be called a jumper.
A jumper. It's a very good jumper. It was very angry. It ran backwards around the living room trying to get out of the jumper.
Is that wearing jandals as well as a cat? Look at that. That is a cat in jandals. They're very small.
Yeah.
It's a hystricomorph.
Notes on a jandal. There's my New Zealand pun for the day. Out of my system, we can move on. So you've got cats. You're into cats.
Clearly. A little bit too much.
You're not eating enough if you're going to fill in for Ed Cavalier.
Oh, sorry. I'll make a cup of tea noise. I don't have any muesli, but I can go...
A bit of stamping, bit of this,
All that.
bit of mic bumping.
Is that right?
Trying to find something amusing in what Tony's reading out of his Spirax. Lots of things to do.
Did you see the sandwich guy today? I mean, normally he comes in smoking a cigar.
That guy's broke.
He's just wearing a barrel today.
What about Ed Cavalier? What is he doing? Some kind of... Well, he claims it's a sitcom.
I think that's an excuse for plastic surgery. I think he's having some work done. He's going to come back in sunglasses and a baseball hat.
But he, I've never seen him doing any of his stage acting. Have you seen? What would that be like?
Has he done Shakespeare? He's mentioned that a couple of times.
I'm seeing a guy on stage in Macbeth with a Subway sandwich in one hand. Ow, damn spot. Soliloquising through it with a mouthful.
I've got a spot on my shirt. It'll go into that nice shirt that he wore in that ad.
Of course.
Metrosexual hair.
Still playing in the Northern Territory. I'm surprised you haven't brought any of your cats in today, Cal.
Well, if I'd known I was allowed, it would have been carnage in the studio.
I nearly brought my dog in.
That sounds like a metaphor for, I'm so angry, I nearly brought the dog in.
Nearly brought the dog in, mate. I couldn't get the dog. I mean, too many schmackos, too many sausages required to get it to come all the way in. But I did actually interview her last night. Check this out. Testing. Have you ever rented a video? Yep, that's fine. Okay, B. Sit. You ready? Speak. Good girl. Here's a bic. No, you're not going to get one every time. Okay? Got a lot to get through here. Say hello to Cal Wilson. And any cats she might have. Okay, just testing. Richard Marsland's here. And Tom Gleisner by in the next hour. Tom's got a dog. Very good. All right, B. What I want from you is 1 bark for yes, 2 barks for no. Lips of an Angel, one of your favourites? All right. How do you think Capril's been? Well, there wasn't even a question. No, it was not. No, you're not having a bic. No, you're not. You can have a sausage. Do you want to do a song? Here we go. I wanna, really, really, really wanna zing a zing. There's a bic. And a sausage. Stop thinking about that crumb under the fridge. All right, we've got to get on with the show. Ed Cavalier's not here. He's not. No. And if we're recording this at home, you wouldn't be getting any sandwich. This doesn't make any sense. Hey, what did you think of that donkey courtroom thing he did the other day? Exactly. All right, back to the studio. There you go. Dogs do not like courtroom sketches. That's what we've learned there.
And I've got an Ed Cavalier memorial cat mention, because I don't really think that I just like cats when Ed's around.
No.
So if you go to YouTube and put in cat playing piano, hilarity ensues.
Really? That's what Ed will be doing right now on the set of his sitcom.
Yeah.
Cal Wilson filling in for Ed Cavalier.
Hang on. Sorry.
That's a great impression. That's very good.
And you should look a bit more surprised that we're back on here.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
hang on.
I've left it downstairs in the office. Oh, look, it's time to announce the winner of Capril.
Oh, no, it's not, says Labor.
That's enough out of you, Paul Bongiorno. This is a very popular idea.
Business hates it.
That's untrue. We have had so many entries. This is just a mad idea we said for a joke. Then people started sending in photos of them going about their business in a cape. What are some of the ones you've got over there, Cal?
Well, coincidentally,
Still arriving in. Good.
This is one of a cat in a cape that doesn't belong to me.
Well, that can't be right.
I know. It's
Who's that from?
It's from Roz, and the cat is called Buffy, the protector of our house.
Oh, yes.
Seems to be wearing an oven mitt on its back.
That's not a cape. That's an oven mitt.
Cat's not very happy.
That's later in the year.
Then we've got Alicia, who's on the back of her horse wearing a cape.
Oh, spectacular.
Horse, not strictly speaking wearing a cape, but she is cantering and she's got a hood on her cape.
Wow, and off to work at the bank. That's a fantastic look.
It's an all-weather cape. And this, I quite like this one. This is from James Johnston.
Yes.
There are doctors with a defibrillator working on a patient wearing capes.
Saving a life wearing capes.
That's what superheroes do.
Beautiful. Probably illegal, but fantastic.
And I like the way their capes actually look like those towels that they've pulled out of the towel dispenser in the bathroom.
That'd be great if you could have a cape that you could just keep pulling more and more out.
So it was clean every day.
And it went round and round. That'd have got the box of sand. That would have got the box of sand.
It would turn into a loincloth, though, as it came around the front, wouldn't it? It'd be a bit weird.
Swings and roundabouts.
And a bus driver wearing a cape.
Oh,
You've got to be happy with that.
That's fantastic.
That was from Fiona.
Exact change, please, says that man. What about our finalists? Let's get to them. We have 7 runners-up.
Oh.
Ed did most of the choosing before he went away.
Yep.
And he couldn't get it down to less than 7 runners-up. Everyone will be getting a copy of the extremely rare Get This Album illegal download. We had a few more.
Yep.
Only 1,000 were stamped.
Brilliant.
The first runner-up is Blake Overduen of Poolworks, Cornubia, Queensland.
Well done, Blake.
I hope at least one of those words was pronounced correctly. Have a look. How would you describe that man?
That he's a little bit naked.
He's in a G-string.
He's in a G-string by a pool, and he's wearing a cape.
And he's just lifting Leaf out of the pool. Like, this is what I do every day. Our second
It's very
runner-up,
tropical.
Chris Dare. Yes, give him a round of Ride New South Wales. He's self-employed. He makes wedding videos, and here he is, seen in the background behind Koshi and Mel one morning, just lurking in a yellow cape through the window.
That is a good effort.
Like a very disturbing Where's Wally.
But the fantastic thing is he looks like he's taking his duties very seriously.
He does.
He's not enjoying this. This is the nation's security.
I get the feeling Koshi would have a restraining order taken out on that bloke by now. Tristan Baxter, give him a round. He's working in a lab wearing a cape.
That's fantastic. And he looks like, yes, well, why wouldn't one wear a cape in a lab?
Because Petri dishes will be swept onto the floor, I'm telling you. Samples will be polluted, but it doesn't stop him.
He's got superhero gloves on as well.
He-
Because
oh.
he's using chemicals or something.
Preparing for Glovevuary. I'm assuming Tristan Baxter's won a bloody album. Look at that. He's got, a cape on mowing the lawn.
Is that Travis? Travis
Yes.
from Putney in Sydney.
Oh, did I get that wrong?
No, it's all cool.
Yes.
Well done, Travis.
Works with his old man. G&C Lawn Mowing. Graham and the Colonel Lawn Mowing in Putney. Who else have we got running up? Rob and Leonie Tognoni. Rob and Leonie Tognoni of Cologne in Germany.
Jeez.
Listening on the internet, caped up, standing in a castle, having a glass.
That's fantastic. And extra points for interesting name.
You think you've seen a cat wearing a cape. Not the way this bloke does it. Alan, photo sent in by Candy. There's dogs and cats, Pixie, Danny, Monkey and Elwood. This man lives in Sydney, New South Wales. He's caped up all the animals and there he is feeding them very
That's
seriously.
Fantastic. I may have to marry someone else now. I may have to marry this man. Sorry,
Unless you're beaten to it by our final runner-up, Justine Noble, who's made a Capril calendar. Have a look at that. She's wearing a cape for every month of the year.
Fantastic. It's crushed velvet. It's purple crushed velvet cape.
I hope that calendar will be mass-produced and on sale in Victoria Point, Queensland. That's where she's from. But who is the grand winner? I think we know who it is. He's been our favourite all along. It's Peter Lees! Taking home the IMAC for doing what? For simply standing at a fax machine in his office in a green cape, looking a little bit bored.
It is genius.
It's the acting, it's the subtlety. I mean, everyone has sent in something great. In my opinion, there are no bad ones here in front of us. But there's something about that looks real, that really, he makes you believe he would wear that cape to work every day.
And he would wear it every day, and he'd only wash it about once every 2 weeks.
And I get the feeling the iMac isn't going to cheer him up. Look, that is a man entrenched in sadness at his workstation.
He'll go, well, I won't be able to fax the iMac. It's useless.
Well done, Peter Lead. Well done to everybody who took part in the magic of Capril.
Wonderful.
Are we moving on to, I think it was Josie Long the other day who suggested we do Dismay.
Oh, yeah, Dismay, I like.
Nice.
It was
That's
just
nice.
basically us dissing people.
Yeah, we need Ed here to do the proper dissing.
Yeah, he's good with the jive
Hang on,
talk. Oh, hang on.
Hang on, here he comes now.
It's Cavalier Cross with Debnam.
Oh, yeah, that's the Peter Debnam. I don't seem to have those figures in front of me.
I liked it.
Cal, now, there's been a comedy festival going on in Melbourne, and we've been getting great guests through on the show. You haven't been part of it. You've been in Adelaide. What have you been?
I did Adelaide instead of Melbourne. I did Adelaide before Melbourne, and it's so nice walking around the Melbourne Festival and laughing at all the stressed comedians.
Yes, that's right.
Because my stress is over. My favourite thing that I saw in Adelaide was outside a cafe, and it was one of those chef's suggestion boards.
Oh, yeah.
And on it had chef's suggestion, can of Coke and hot dog with sauce.
Wow, he's a gourmet.
I know, and I came back. I've bought some presents for you. I've meant to give you that ages ago. That's the album by Tony Martin called The Cage.
Oh, wow. Which Tony Martin is that?
I think it's the heavy metal Tony
Oh,
Martin.
the one who was, I think, the 7th lead singer of Black Sabbath.
Yeah. But I thought, quite weird, Tony Martin doing an album called The Cage. You're doing covers of Paco and JB and stuff like that.
Or if you're listening in Brisbane, Skippo, George,
Yeah, nice.
Sully,
Zoo in Adelaide.
exactly.
Now, and for Richard Marsland, I found this fantastic jigsaw puzzle in Adelaide, which on the back has warning, goking hazard.
Oh.
Careful. He's always goking.
You won't choke, but you might goke. And it's called Opposites, but it's got some interesting pictures on it. I don't know if you'd like to help me.
Yeah.
What is the opposite of ice, Tony?
Well, that would be fire.
No, it's coffee.
It's a cup of coffee, apparently.
Yep, the opposite of an elephant is...
Well, a mouse.
Yep, okay. Opposite of a giraffe?
A mouse again, I would have thought.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Apparently. Opposite of empty...
Full.
Full.
No, orange juice.
Of course.
Opposite of alarm clock.
Another alarm clock,
Yes,
apparently.
back of alarm clock. That's it. So
Opposite of a candle, a different candle. What the hell is this?
I don't know, and the shapes are
That
just
is a
all,
goking hazard.
all the shapes are just kind of amoebic. There's not really, they don't fit. They don't
thanks,
even
Cal.
fit together.
That's for you,
Happy birthday,
Richard.
Richard Maslin.
This Cal always
Seconds.
comes with gifts.
Seconds of fun.
Wow. Cheers. Thank you very much. More of a boggle man, but I appreciate the present. Thanks very much.
How are the water
Lovely.
restrictions over in Adelaide? What level are they on over there?
12.
Have you seen all the water theft gear on the news?
There's like football grounds nicking water and stuff like that from tiny towns. Is that what you're talking about?
In the tiny town of
Poowong.
That's right. And there's been so much reportage of that simply because they just love saying Poowong over and over again. I reckon they should add our sound effect.
Poowong.
Just add that every time. Maybe you could be like Murray Tregonning during the news.
Oh, yeah. That would be a great gig.
Go in during the news, and every time the bloke says Poowong,
Welcome to Poowong, home of the Poowong Magpies and some very proud but puzzled locals.
Where the water came from and all that, I wouldn't have a clue.
With water being trucked into Poowong and neighbouring towns, the authority is hunting down the culprits. Poowong Football Club's president says he thought the club's dam was supplied by a spring. Many locals, though, say the real reason Poowong is such a great footy ground is that this is a community which cares about its institutions. For all the suspicion exhibition, Poowong's fierce rivals and local reigning premiers, Nyora, can't wait to try out the surface. Christopher Still, Poowong.
There you go. The home of the sharpest satire on radio. It's get this. We've got a different panel in today. Firstly, Cal Wilson is here. Yes, a round of applause for Cal, filling in for Ed Cavalier. Our special guest, it's Tom Gleisner.
Oh, no, it's not, says Labor.
Oh, enough out of you.
Good stuff. Thank you very much.
The host of, well, not the host, the judge, the hanging judge on Thank God You're Here. Cal, you've been on Thank God You're Here. Have you seen the American version?
I have. I've been to YouTube, oddly, yeah.
How does it look out of sync?
Well, it's really weird hearing not Aussie accents. That's a really strange thing.
They've used our scenario, so
Right.
so
Oh,
you
okay.
recognise. In fact, all the overseas versions have used them. So even when you're watching, say, the Dutch version, you can kind of go, "Oh, I remember this one," but you can't understand a word they're saying.
And do people head naturally towards the same kind of jokes?
The Americans are a bit bigger and broader and more of a tendency to drop the prop. You know, when in doubt, it's just a bit bigger. But they certainly brought out some big guns because we sold the format rights to the United States. But basically, they can make the show any way they like.
Yep.
And they've tended to go really heavy celebrities, so they'll get Jason Alexander from Seinfeld or
Right.
Fran Drescher.
Yeah.
Whereas we've said, you know what, it really works well with not necessarily superstars.
Yep.
You know, just good, talented, quick-thinking people. But they've tended to go very much up the celebrity end of the pool.
And who have you liked so far that you've seen?
Jennifer Coolidge, you might know her.
Yes.
She's in all of Christopher Guest's movies.
How would you just, if people don't know her, she's the woman who looks a bit like Anna Nicole Smith
Yes,
after a lot of
yes.
plastic surgery
Yes.
in most of the Guest films.
She always looks a little spaced out. She was in the most recent one. What's the
For Your Consideration.
For Your Consideration, where they're saying the film's like it's a little bit too Jewish, and maybe they can make it more based on say
Yes.
Easter, and she goes maybe like more of the rabbit, and that's her contribution to the
Hang on a
conversation.
second. Stifler's mom.
Yeah,
Wasn't she
that's the most
Stifler's
famous.
mom in American
Pie.
Pie? I think
That's what I know.
there's one of those American Pie wedding films on this week because Channel 10 are running these ads that say, he's taken her up the aisle.
Okay,
Can't resist that one.
but we're halfway through the series of the first series of Thank God You're Here in the States. But we were on Oprah, well, not me personally, but Oprah likes the
Wow.
show, and she invited the host and the ensemble cast,
yeah.
and she actually did. They did a scenario.
Oh, and she
Wow.
went
And was she in it?
She was excellent because we were going, this will be a car crash. And far from it. She's actually really sharp and funny. And when Oprah kind of gives you the imprimatur, you've kind of that's a big endorsement.
But she was an actress, wasn't she? Wasn't she in The Colour
In
Purple?
Colour Purple.
And that other one.
So what was his scenario?
that other one.
I think she was in a store, like a donut store or something like that, and the millionth customer came through, and she had to think of what their special prize was. But she was just
I'll give you a house and a car.
That's the one.
Yeah.
it just came naturally to Oprah. But no, she was really good.
And the host, isn't it David Alan Grier?
It is.
People, what would they know? He was in Living Colour.
Oh, yeah.
I know him mostly from Amazon Women on the Moon, which will come on Channel 10 about 11:30 on a Sunday night. He's Don Simmons, the black without soul.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
A
yeah.
black guy in a sort of Ned Flanders jumper,
Yep.
driving a Volvo, voting Republican and singing Chim Chimney, Chim Chimney.
There's a pedigree. So yeah, we're on the stage, which is great, and as well as lots of other funny little territories around the world. We're on in Czechoslovakia, I think, coming up, and I know, and Israel.
It's just on the radio.
haven't seen the-
Go through the door and hopefully leave the country.
Russia. Russia have made more episodes than we have.
Are you serious?
No, I am absolutely serious. However, we get to be paid anything resembling like a licensing fee, and it's been explained to us by the company doing this that basically don't ask.
There is no problem.
There are no debt collectors in Russia. Basically, who's going to take on that job? Yeah, I'll go and ask for the money. So
Hang on a second. You're saying they came up with more scenarios, so they would have had to come up with their own scene.
must have, they
What
must
sort of ones did they come up with?
who knows? I don't even think it's on YouTube. It's
Down a salt mine. Boris Yeltsin's funeral.
Oh, hey,
In a
hey, hey,
sled.
hey! Let's not make light. It's been a very
No.
tragic event. I'm sure you've had the pants at half mast all week for this very sad loss.
I
to
saw the
international.
footage of him lying in state, just in ice with a few VBs dropped in there. Very sorry look.
Do you know how Farlap they've got his heart preserved
Yep.
in a museum? Surely Boris's liver there's a glass cage
It's already
somewhere.
preserved.
I like
Yeah,
to think
exactly.
the dance moves have been preserved. So how's the way, like every, going, oh, he's died. there'll be some, a montage of his great... No, just the dancing
Yes,
footage
yes.
over and over again.
You have to remember that if you are in the public eye and you do something a little embarrassing, that will haunt
Yeah.
you. That will stay
Yeah.
with you. If you're kidnapped, that's the footage they'll play. If you die, that's the footage they'll play.
And it'll be discussed endlessly on this program.
Exactly.
I tell you what I remember from the 80s, Spinal Tap, and I see they're back. What's going on?
They've done it. They're reforming now. Actually, Harry Shearer, who's a friend of ours, Harry plays
Derek Smalls.
the bass player, and we've known Harry for many years. He explained to us why this happens. If they don't do something with Spinal Tap, like put out an album, make a public appearance, do some official get-together, they lose the rights to the Spinal Tap name. It reverts to some sort of faceless corporation.
It's because the characters and the songs were all developed for the movie. So therefore, whoever owns the rights to the movie owns the characters.
But apparently, by reforming, by coming together as every 5 years or something, they get to keep them.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's the total motivation or not, I don't know. But every now and then, Spinal Tap get back together, and they've just apparently made a 15-minute film with Rob Reiner, who of course directed This Is Spinal Tap, and they've got a song Hotter Than Hell about global warming.
I think it's called Warmer Than Hell.
Warmer Than Hell. There you go. So
You've got to get their lyrics right. Majesty of rock, pageantry of roll.
There you go. And we actually met. Spinal Tap did they toured as Spinal Tap, a promotional tour. And they
Yes.
came into the radio station where we were working.
This was to promote Break Like the Wind.
It was indeed, but they came in character. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was Nigel Tufnell and Derek Smalls.
Yes.
And David St. Hubbins, I
David
think.
St. Hubbins.
So in character, which was fabulous, and we talked to them on air, and that was great. And then the mics were off, and at that point, you want to stop talking to Dame Edna and talk to Barry Humphries. They wouldn't break. They stayed.
Wow.
Wow.
In particular, Nigel, little prickly, just kept chewing the gum and giving the monosyllabic answers
Yes.
off air. And the only one of them, quietly, because we were really disappointed, because we had all these nerdy questions we wanted to ask about making of the film and trivia stuff, and the only one that was prepared to kind of break when the other two weren't looking was Harry Shearer.
Wow.
He basically looked around, peeled off the moustache. No, actually, the moustache was real, wasn't it? But he said, what do you want to know? And we got to know him at that point, and
Wow.
a lovely guy. And since then, in fact, he appeared in an episode of Frontline.
He
We
certainly
brought
did.
Harry out as an American consultant,
Yeah,
Tommy
yeah.
Hedges,
Yes.
to revamp the show, and then of course he made numerous appearances on the panel.
Yeah, and who was that American consultant based on, Tom?
It was someone who used to come periodically down to the radio station we used to work at and tell us what we were doing wrong and who our listener. Have you ever had the conversation about who your listener is?
Yeah, live the life of the listener.
Live the life of a listener. You're supposed to, and when you're on radio, especially if you're on your own, unlike say here when we're chatting effectively to each other and just assuming some people are listening, possibly falsely. Well, I guess when you're on your own, you're supposed to have this mental image of who are you talking to, so it doesn't get too sort of generic. And we were told without a hint of irony that our listener, which was strangely
'Cause there's
accurate at the
only
time,
one.
there's only one,
Yeah.
and in fact there was, Cal.
There can be only one.
He was like a 23-year-old plumber who
He was committed, though. He was into it.
He drove a blue Nissan and enjoyed, and of course, curiously enjoyed all the music we played.
Yeah.
That was the sort of focus we had to
I
have.
remember he would come out and he'd get all the staff into the boardroom, all the on-air people. He'd go, okay, you, I don't know who you are. What's going on in the plot of Friends at the moment? And the guy go, I don't know. Get out. You have no place working here. You know why? Because your listeners know. So what the hell are you doing talking to them if you don't know what's going on Friends? And he was in the middle of one of these rants. Yes. And then the station, Triple M, was playing in the background. And Eagle Rock was playing. Yes. Now, he wouldn't have heard of Eagle Rock.
No.
And so he's in the middle of talking. What? You don't know. Hang on. What is that? Goddamn Stones album tracks. And he stormed out of the room, stormed up to whoever was on air. Obviously, to say, get that off.
Never heard of it.
And someone obviously told him it's quite a well-known song down this way. And we just all waited, and no one said anything in the boardroom for 2.5 minutes. And then he just shuffled in, really embarrassed.
And continued the meeting. This was the big station brainstorm, and we were supposed to come up with ideas and talk about the direction of the station. And, it was all about empowering and all that sort of stuff. And remember, there was one of the Midnight to Dawn. He said, okay, any questions? And the Midnight to Dawn jock at the back said, yeah, the bike racks down in the foyer. That was the
Get out!
And he did.
Welcome to radio, Cal. This is what it's like.
Chandler's going out with Monica. Whew. Got
You're
it.
safe. Your job is safe.
You're here.
Have you guys seen that footage of George Bush dancing?
Politicians and dancing never goes well, does it?
No.
It's like politicians holding a beer glass. It's just never authentic.
Holding a beer glass and a baby.
That's the one.
But it was a really great way to draw attention to Malaria Awareness Week. You're going, are those the symptoms? It was truly, truly embarrassing. Getting on the bongos. Oh, dear.
George is struggling at the moment because the Democrats want to, they say, we'll only give you more money for the war in Iraq if you agree to bring the troops home. And his basic line he's been trotting out is, no, if we pull out of Iraq now, the country will descend into chaos.
Yes.
As opposed to the orderly civic triumph that's currently being played out in the Middle East. How much more chaotic can the country get?
Maybe some more dancing is the answer.
Who knows?
It is one of those moments. It's so embarrassing you can almost hear this music. The theme from Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. If you've never seen it, it's a bloke cocking up for half an hour and then that music comes in. It's a great show.
Sometimes I have to stop watching it halfway through because I can't bear it. And then I have to start it. Like, it's so compelling and it's so awful. I have to run around the room.
Yeah, it's like The Office. Sometimes when it's so embarrassing, you have to actually make a cup of tea and just listen to it.
Exactly.
In the
Yes.
kitchen.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Oh.
But surely this has happened to you. You've done something and in your mind you've heard that music coming in, Carl.
Oh, we did the Queenstown Winter Festival a couple of years ago, which is a great event because basically they pay you in skiing and accommodation.
Wow.
So you have to talk for 10 minutes and then you just go skiing and it's fantastic. The two terrible things, they maybe do the celebrity ski race. Now, given that I've been on skis for 20 minutes in my life, I got about 20 metres down the slope, then my skis fell off and I had to run the rest of the way. So everyone else is on skis, so I just ran the rest of the way in ski boots, which make you move like Frankenstein's monster, and fell over a picnic table. That was all hideous. And then we had to do this hideous appearance in a shopping mall, which no one knew we were turning up. There was a couple of people that had done Dancing with the Stars in New Zealand.
Oh.
And the Top Twins. I don't know if you know the Top Twins. They're
Yes.
yodeling lesbian sisters who are icons back home. And they do tours in their caravans towed by tractors.
Are they billed as yodeling lesbian sisters?
I'd like to think
Not
so.
really, but we all know.
Oh, okay.
But they are
It's
institutions.
understood that they do
Yeah,
yodel.
and one of them is a horse whisperer, which is even more exciting. They're fantastic. But so we all.
Is that a euphemism, Tony? Or?
I'm not sure. Bit of a horse whisperer, apparently.
Oh, I totally interviewed my dog.
Oh, yeah.
But so we all end up in this shopping mall for some kind of weird appearance. But you know when no one knows that you're there or why
Yes.
you're there, and there's a mic, but there's no stage, and there's no reason for you to be there. And so we all ended up doing a conga line, and someone took photos.
Here it comes.
And it's on the net.
Oh, it's on the internet,
Yeah,
is
there's
it?
a photograph of me with a lame look on my face, congering with Shane, someone or other, who was on Dancing with the Stars.
Wow. Well, have you ever gone that low, Tom?
Well, the celebrity area is always a bit fraught, and the Logie's red carpet walk is one of those great moments to bring you down, because basically if you're over 40, none of the kids lined up there have a clue who you are. And so, and especially if you make the mistake of getting in behind someone from home and away, you're basically like slipstreaming your way through. And even that look where as you're approaching, it's usually, who's it, Richard Wilkins or Trina Roundtree or someone, they kind of turn, they look, they go, oh, and then they realise it's no one.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
And that slightly awkward moment. Well, do I stand here and demand to be interviewed? Or do I force my autograph on somebody? Or do I just kind of scuffle
Forcibly
through?
sign someone.
Exactly. Come here.
Do you do the Kerry Ann and go back again? Round the block comes
Lapping the red carpet.
In fact, I saw one worse than Carrie Ann last year, Maria Venuti, who I was trying to work out why she's involved in pizza. Would that be?
Yeah, she is. She's the voluptuous Carmen Miranda style
She was
arrangement.
forcing her bosoms into some teenagers' faces, like she so wanted the photograph that, and obviously these kids didn't really know who Maria Venuti was. But she was not going to move on until they'd all taken at least several photographs of both sides. Then she went through. So anyway, yeah, the Logie's red carpet can be, that music can sort of follow me in any time.
Brett, can you top that? You've got a more embarrassing moment?
Yeah, I do. It was actually during the taking of my Capril photo.
Oh, right. Now, are you one of our runners-up by any chance?
No, I'm not, unfortunately.
Oh, well, you're getting yourself a prize anyway. What happened, sir?
I was in the middle of Chatswood in the middle of the day, and I'm a traffic controller.
Yeah.
And I was stopping traffic wearing a nice long flowing bath towel, and I was stopping traffic for no reason, just to take the photo.
Yeah.
And we had hundreds of people walking around pointing and going, what the hell is he doing wearing a cape? And everyone was honking their horns, telling me to get off the road.
Okay. All for a good cause.
It was for a brilliant cause.
Under the rules of Capril, is a bath towel.
Your bath towel is acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
The rules were only drawn up about 2 days ago. I'm afraid.
Is there any article of fabric that you've actually excluded as a
Glad wrap?
No, we did draw the line at superhero costumes because
Okay.
we felt it was, that's already got a cape in there.
Yeah, gotcha.
So there was one rule. Okay, it was almost organised. Thank you. Who have we got now? Andrew. Are you there, Andrew?
I'm here.
Have you made a fool of yourself, sir?
Yeah, when I first started going to the gym, I walked in with a mate of mine and I got on the bench press and bench pressed what I thought was a fair amount. And about 2 seconds later, after I got off, a woman jumped on, looked at it, got up again, put more weight on, and then bench pressed it fairly easily.
Oh, okay. How embarrassing. Oh, dear.
Very.
Are you, though, of a physique like myself, or...?
Oh, very much so.
Slim hipped.
I went to the gym and just pick up the phone for a couple of hours. It was exhausting.
Gyms are hotbeds of embarrassment.
They sure are.
You get on these like crazy stepper treadmill type machines, and there's buttons, and you've got to enter your weight and your age. How impertinent is that? And what you want to achieve, and invariably the little towel you're carrying slips off and gets caught in the treadmill mechanism. Always embarrassment at the gym.
By that time, it's time to go home.
Exactly.
Exhausting. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew. Who's going next?
Hi, Reddy, you there?
Yes, I am.
When have you made a dick of yourself?
When I was 14, we used to camp in Maringula, and they had a trampoline there, and I was quite good at doing tricks and things, and by about the third day, I had quite a big crowd coming to watch me, and I was doing back salts, and I did them one after the other, and I got to number 10, and when I landed, I passed wind, and then someone yelled out, about a 16-year-old boy, what a great trick that was, and I jumped off the trampoline and ran away.
That's how so many of our stories end on this show. Wow. Do they still talk about it?
Possibly.
Rita, do you think a beautiful green cape with Cape of Good Hope written on it would sort of leaven the embarrassment?
I think it would.
Oh, that's coming your way, courtesy of Cal Wilson. Let one off, see it fly. It's fantastic. Thanks to everyone who was embarrassed. What's going on with Snoop Dogg? That's definite, is it? He's not going to be allowed here?
Not allowed.
Not a person of character, apparently, to get him, which is... I mean, if they want a gangster rapper, but they want someone with a perfectly, clear criminal...
A nice, respectable gangster rapper.
A bit of a struggle, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know who would they... Kevin Rudd. Have you heard about his theme music?
What did he choose today? It was on stage, wasn't it? On about 10 o'clock today, he hit the stage at Sydney Convention Centre.
I don't know, because they're talking
Eye
about...
of the Tiger?
Oh, no, not really.
No, I'm
it
guessing.
was something specially composed, because Mark Latham, when he entered the convention for the Labor Party in 2004, he entered to INXS's New Sensation. Ouch!
No, not good.
What could Kevin Rudd...
Feel like making Rudd.
Nice.
Yeah, that'd work
Nice.
all right. What have we got, Ro?
Nights,
it's good to be able to play this
Thank you, Ed.
reach to the air.
without Ed reaching over to pull the volume down.
Something or other.
Actual lyrics.
While we're on Australian politics, we should say farewell and congratulations to Amanda Vanstone, who's got the plum posting, the plum posting they're calling it, to Italy, which I'm not. I look, 22 years service in Parliament. I think it's fair enough that you get an overseas posting. But wouldn't Christmas Island or Nauru be just a little more appropriate? I'll leave it with you.
Send it to her. What else is in the post? Just a few things I've got to mention. Oh, look, a lot of people have been sending us in this photo. I talk in my book, Lolly Scramble, still available, of kerning issues. It's a big deal if you're a typographer. Got to be careful with the word flick.
Yes.
The word flick. If it's photographed too small, you know what can happen. My Friend Flicker, published in the 1970s in a sans serif font, when it was reprinted in the Whitcoulls catalogue in New Zealand.
Thank you.
Oh, the embarrassment. Think you know what I'm talking about? Look at this photo people have been sending in of Richard Branson in front of the flick off sign.
Okay.
As part of the flick off.
That's not working.
You get it on the wrong angle.
That's not working.
Suddenly that sign is saying what everyone wants to say to Richard Branson.
Was it a kerning issue? I remember when the Late Show came back for its second series, the ABC actually took out ads in the paper. It might have been the Late Show. And it was and you looked at you opened up and said Atlas Tea. It was At Last. It was
Atlas Tea.
Somehow they just didn't get it right. It was Atlas Tea.
Atlas Tea, Snato Garrow is back.
I had a business card with comedian written across the top, with like my little picture and comedian written in sort of like all different, capitals and lowercase and stuff. And my grandmother looked at it and she went, "Who's Come Diane?"
Oh, nice. Sounds like a porn name, Cal.
That's what she thought.
Thank you very much, Matt Dow on the Pots and Pans. Thank you very much, Richard Marsland.
Absolute pleasure, Tony.
Pushing
Thank you.
buttons. Thank you very much, Cecilia on the phones. But our biggest thank you, our producer, Nikki Hamilton, holding the whole show together. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Cal. Thank you, listeners, for taking an interest. Thank you, Ed Cavalier. We'll see you in a week. And I think our key phrase today was simply...
Poowong.
Get this, it's blown out to 2 hours, 11 to 1 weekdays on the Triple M network.